So I recently watched Spider-Man 2002 recently. Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire. I love the movie. It might be the one movie I've watched the most out of any other movie. I think that might be accurate. I'm not sure. I believe I watched it 3 times in the theater in 2002, which is crazy because most movies nowadays I don't even watch once in the theater. Rewatching it in 2025, I love it. I think it's a near perfect movie. It's probably my favorite superhero movie. I just love it so much. It's such a good origin story. I think it's well written. I think it's well acted. I think it's well directed. You got David Koepp's script, Sam Raimi's direction, and Danny Elfman's score, which I think that combination is amazing. Performance-wise, you got Tobey Maguire, who I call Tobes. Willem Dafoe is a great Green Goblin. I think Kirsten Dunst is so good in this movie. She makes me all goose pimply. This movie reminds me of high school. There's so much about this movie that I love, but Kirsten Dunst is so bubbly, and just even watching it now just makes my heart aflutter. She shoots an arrow through my heart thusly. And the way she smiles, I don't know. I'm gonna gush over Kirsten Dunst, but Cliff Robertson and Rosemary Harris, amazing. James Franco, he's good in this first one. I think he gets a bad rap because by the third one he's gone a little silly. I don't know. The third one is a whole other video on its own, but he's good in this one. He reminds me of like James Dean. He's just very serious in this first one. J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, iconic performance. Really great performance. Really funny performance. Performances are all on point. I love this movie then. I love it now. It would take a lot to pull me away from Tobey Maguire and his performance. When Amazing Spider-Man came out, I openly rebelled against it. I was like, who's this British fucker? What's he doing ruining Spider-Man? Andrew Garfield. Because I was a ride or die Tobes guy, you know what I mean? And then even after his 2 movies, then they rebooted it again with Tom Holland. Now that I'm older and I have some distance, it's tough to say, but Andrew Garfield might be the best, just his take on it. But Tom Holland is also very good because he's young and Spider-Man is supposed to be a kid in high school. But still, I still love Tobey Maguire's performance in it. He's low energy, and I am low energy, as you can tell from my voice and my vibe and my depression. But even when you see them all side by side in No Way Home, you can really see Tobey Maguire's low energy. And he's low energy in 2002 also. I remember seeing him on a late night talk show, and he's the opposite of gregarious, and he's not really playful. I still really love his performance, and he looks like Peter Parker. He looks like Spider-Man. I think it's absolutely worth watching in 2025 or 2026 and beyond. When you look up a list of Thanksgiving movies to watch, this movie comes up. It's not a Thanksgiving movie. It's a superhero movie. It's an action movie. But there is a Thanksgiving dinner scene where everyone comes together and then it immediately falls apart. There's a World Unity Parade, which is very reminiscent of the Macy's Day Parade, Macy Gray Parade. You can probably look up that scene on YouTube if you want to get the Thanksgiving vibes. This was 6 years before Iron Man, so 6 years before the MCU started. And I don't know, it was a better time for superhero movies, in my opinion, because we weren't getting hammered over and over. I mean, superhero fatigue, it's nuts these days. And I didn't see Captain America, Brave Soldier. I didn't see Fantastic Four. I barely saw Superman recently. I didn't see the Marvels. I didn't see, I can't even think of the name, the New Avengers, whatever that movie was. I heard it was good, but I didn't see it. As an adult, there's some parts that are kind of corny. You know, when he's going, fly, that part, you know, I remember it getting a lot of laughs in the theater, and it's for kids, but my favorite part of the movie, like that monologue that he gives in the hospital when they're visiting Aunt May, it's kind of cheesy, but it rides that line really nicely. When you look into her eyes, it's like you've climbed the top of a mountain and you weren't ready for it. Like I think it's beautifully written, beautifully performed, and I love it. And just that theme of becoming the man you're meant to become, becoming the man that you should become. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. There's a lot of good stuff in this movie. My one takeaway from this viewing that I never really caught before was a Green Goblin quote. It goes, "The one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail," which is an interesting quote, but it's essentially the same quote as from The Dark Knight when Harvey Dent goes, "You either die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain," which I think about that quote a lot, and I love that quote. And it's the same thing as this one. I feel like the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail. It's saying the same thing. I like the Dark Knight quote better. And maybe this is a recurring theme in the comics. I'm not a comics nerd, so I don't know. But that was the one takeaway. When I heard that quote, I was like, this is the same as the Dark Knight. It's been a while since I saw Spider-Man 2. And the last time I watched it, I felt that it was a little slow. But obviously with Doc Ock and the action scenes in that one were really good. And 3 had a lot of issues. But I've seen comments a lot commenting on Topher Grace's performance as Venom and that portrayal, saying that they like it a lot compared to what they did with the recent Venom movies. Which is interesting because at the time, I think 2007, people were hating on Topher Grace's performance left and right because that movie has a lot of silliness in it, a lot of weird things about it, the dance, the Bully Maguire stuff. But it's kind of refreshing to see that people are able to appreciate Topher Grace's performance now. There's a bunch of CGI in Spider-Man 2002 that were just not good. That was a weird time for CGI. I remember the first Harry Potter was, I think, around the same time. And when he first gets on that broom, the CGI is really rough. So in Spider-Man 2002, when he's jumping across the rooftops, it looks a little weird. So the CGI is a little rough. I have the 4K collection of the trilogy. I don't really understand the grain. There's grain when I watched it in 4K, and I looked it up and people were saying like, oh, that just means that there's a lot of detail. Movies were recorded on film back then, so there's grain. And I'm like, is that supposed to be appealing? I don't know. It was kind of distracting to me, but I think Spider-Man I love it. One of my favorites for sure. That's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving.